All right, good morning, everybody. Monday, June 29th. And the market, I'm Dan Sheridan, by the way, Sheridan Mentoring, and the market has rallied a bit after getting beaten up Friday, they say, as a result of the coronavirus spikes and other things. Again, I think we're just in a process here in the market. And this correction, which has been going on since February, like 4 months, I think that you got another good 3 months of this. It's not a typical one like the June or like the 2018 correction that we had at the end of the year near Christmas, where we were down 20-30% at Christmas and then it kind of unwinded in 3 months. There's too much going on here in the economy, especially with the coronavirus, that it's going to take a while, right? So, with that being said, I think we're in a range now, and volatility still a little bit high over the last 3 months. We'll get into that in a second. What I'd like to do with this Sheridan Sheridan Mentoring YouTube is, I started this last week, but I thought about this over the weekend. Just, we'll call it, again, I'm focusing on the Monday a little more towards beginners in terms of the strategy. So we'll call it live trade idea, Monday live trade idea for beginners, and this will be on Sheridan TV. I'll try to do it as consistent as I can. No promises, but I'll try on Mondays. And because we started last Thursday, I did a trade, and I thought, hey, I can do one on Mondays. So look for that. Sheridan Mentoring YouTube for beginners live trade idea. It'll be on Mondays. And what triggered it is Thursday I was looking at doing a trade. I thought it'd be good, more for beginner strategies as much as possible, and a little different emphasis. But we talked about, if you look at a price chart of Boeing, let me move this here. If you look at Boeing was pretty beaten up. We talked about that last Thursday, Sheridan Mentoring TV, and we just, not that I thought Boeing was the best stock in the world, but it had been beaten up a lot, and so we just did a little vertical debit spread. Again, you can go back and watch that last Thursday. I think it was the 25th. Sheridan Mentoring YouTube talked about that, and this is the trade that we talked about. And basically, it's just a call vertical debit spread, right? I bought one, July 10, 175 call. Sell one, July 10, 180 call. And I paid, I think it was like $2, and today got rid of it at $270. So you made $70 on $200 purchase. That's what's 32, 30, about 35%, right? Return on a kind of a little spec trade. If you did it one time, again, Boeing's up big today, like about $11 or something. It was just in the bottom end of the range, and I just used a call vertical. So, and then for today, since today's Monday, let's go over to SPY. Today will be we'll look at for a live trade idea. Trade of the week. Not trade of the week, but just a live trade idea for Mondays for beginners. I'm going to look at a covered right alternative, a long diagonal in SPY. And so, again, if you look here, we've been kind of in the lower end of the range over the last month. We came up a little bit today over the 200-day, so I'm just looking for it to continue a little bit, but I have a little bit of trepidation, and I'll show you how I'm going to structure it. So a long diagonal, again, if you do one covered right on a $303 vehicle like SPY, it's going to cost you like 30 grand. So instead of spending all that money to do a covered right, I'm going to do a covered right alternative. What does that mean? So here's the example of the trade I'm going to do by 1 July 20, 283 calls. Sell 1 July 13, 302 calls. Again, I'm buying it in the money July 20. It's going for like $2, or excuse me, $23.20. My short July 302 call in the July 13 is going for $7.30. So my net debit will be $1,590. So I'm spending $1,590 versus if I did a covered right, and instead of buying an in-the-money option, I bought 100 shares of SPY. This would cost me like 30 grand instead of 1,500. So that's what I'm looking at. The underlying is around 303.68, and I'm selling the 302 call just slightly in the money at around 730, just to get a little more downside protection, right? Especially on a day like today, we're up, right? SPX is up 37 points. SPY's up almost 3.6. So putting this on, even though we're in the lower end of the range, we're up quite a bit today. So I want to get a little more downside protection. And this is a short-term trade, July 13th. It's about a 2-week trade. I'm looking to get out of this. If I could get out of this by Thursday, today's Monday, I'd be happy camper. Watch Sheridan. I think I'll touch on this. I'll do Sheridan TV or Sheridan YouTube on Mondays and Wednesdays. So that's when I would look to maybe address the Monday trade on Wednesdays, or at least talk about it. I'll talk about something else, but talk about that. And so that's what I'm looking at. I'm probably looking to make about 7% on this. So if I pay around $1,590 debit or whatever I pay, I'll go in and do it in a second. That's about $16. 7% of that, 6 is 42, 2.4, about 110 bucks. So if I put it on for $1,590, I'd look to sell it out for 17 credit. If I sold it at 17, I bought it for $590, I'd make 110 bucks divided by capital of $1,590. That'd be about 7% for a profit. And then a max loss, I don't want to lose more than 10%. So 10% of that would be about 160. So if this debit gets down to 1430 or so, I'd sell it out and lose around 10%. Because if I sold it for 1430 and I bought it for 1590, I'd lose 160 bucks divided by 1590. It's about 10%. So that's basically the trade for today. And right now, 1590, we are looking at it. So the market's continuing to go up, 1602. Let's just see where it's trading at. This is live price. It's a little higher, so let's go 15. It's trading at like $16 live. If I go 1598, let's just see here. 1598. And it says 16 is the mid price. Let's go up to $16. So we'll have it, and we'll talk about this either on Wednesday or Monday. That'd be the trade idea. $16. I got filled at 16. Boom, boom. And we'll talk about that on Wednesday. Give you a little bit of a plan. Have a great day, folks. And that's your It's Dan Sheridan from Sheridan Mentoring YouTube. Thanks.